Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Making sure my mic is working. Excellent. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Silverstream Media stream. We are a small indie game studio. We released our first major in-house game, Glitchhikers: The Spaces Between, this year that we're very excited about. Glitchhikers is actually on sale right now for the biggest discount that we've ever done with Glitchhikers, 30% off for the Steam Winter Sale. So check it out, all the information at glitchhikers.com. But I'm here to do some streaming of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. My name is Lucas, I'm the Silverstream Media Studio Director, I use he, him pronouns, and we're just here to have some fun on this relaxing holiday Friday. It is rainy and gross out here in Vancouver, so we're just gonna cozy up with some tea and some Exocolonist. I'm gonna just dive right in. So last session, the story so far, we are just at the end of year 6 here in I Was Teenage Exocolonist, a little over halfway through the game. At the beginning of this year, a new colony ship arrived and brought with it some fascists, so that's been an interesting journey. We started doing some exploration. I believe this last year was when we encountered the array of the gardeners, the sort of local AI inhabitants of the planet Vertumna. So lots going on. We didn't quite finish the year. We're at the very end in glow season, so we're going to finish up this year and then get into the next one. This playthrough that I've been doing so far has been a bit of a different one than I've done before. Exocolonist is great for replayability. You can do lots of different... when you replay the game, you get new options based on past playthroughs, as your character sort of has memories of other timelines. So this is like my third full playthrough through the game, and I'm doing something a bit different than I have done before. I want to make friends with some characters that I've never really gotten close with before, specifically the slightly more fashy characters, and so we're taking a bit of a different route through this playthrough. I started out by leaning heavily into the delusions of seeing other timelines, which ended up having me get put away for a few months early on in the game. That hasn't come up as much recently, but sort of the main commitment I made was if there's an opportunity to be delusional, I guess, I will be taking it. And then otherwise, yeah, making friends with some of the characters that I didn't before. The sort of narrative arc that we're on at the moment is willing to do sort of whatever it takes to survive for the moment, and that means right now, while fascists have come, maybe they will help us survive a bit better against the attacks and whatnot. So that's a narrative arc that I think will be changing a little bit as we go here into the next few years, but for the moment, here we are. So we are here in Helio Colony. Got a few people to talk to, and then we'll finish out the year here. So let's talk to Dis. You and Dis are sitting on the tailgate of one of the expedition vehicles, shelling bobber seeds with your teeth and spitting the hard bits on the ground. Now and then one of you points out something funny a passing surveyor does, or spots something under the mush trees. This is the easiest way to talk to Dis, by not talking at all. Dis has always been like this. Being isolated from the other kids has made him thoughtful. Out of everyone, you think Dis might understand about Sim, and be able to keep the secret. Do you tell him? So we just met Sim recently in this playthrough. Sim, the alien gardener here. But yes, I absolutely trust Dis. You tell Dis you saw something interesting when you were out on expedition. Dis perks up immediately, turning to look at you. Yeah? Yes? What? I met an alien, Dis. His jaw drops and his face goes an interesting color. You're worried for a moment that he's going to be upset with you for teasing him, but... No way, Dis hisses, leaning in. But I met an alien too, Selene. What was yours like? Like us, but... an alien? You describe Sim, his long dark hair, his big eyes, his faintly purple skin. The way he never seems to answer any of your questions. Dis stares at your face. Wait, you've met Sim too? You nod, and Dis's hands fly to his hair. He said he met another human boy, but he didn't say who it was. It was you this whole time. He made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone else, Dis says earnestly. It's a weird expression on him. He said if other humans find out about the gardeners, we'd all be in a lot of danger. So, we can talk about Sim, but we have to keep it a secret. Okay, this will be... I met the Overseer. The what, Dis says? What's that? Dis listens in shocked silence as you unburden yourself of everything you've learned about the Convergent Domain, the Gardeners, and the history of Vertumna. To his credit, he doesn't once say that you're making things up. Of all the people in the colony, you know Dis is the one person who you can count on to believe you without question. Wow, he says when you're done. I have to talk to Sim. What will the grown-ups think? We just get laughed at, Dis scowls, and the chief engineer would probably just want to experiment on him. We can't let that happen. I'd agree. Let's see who else. Are we back? Are we stuck? Looks like we're back. I don't know. Sorry about that. If there was a drop there. Where was I? Yes, just exploring around. See if there's anyone else to talk to or any collectibles to pick up. Unstable connection. Yeah, that's not great. Nem looks around at all the new soldiers that arrived on the heliosphere. They look so cool, she mutters. Why didn't we act more like these guys in the first place? How am I doing with friendship with Nem? Friendship is good with Nem, not great with Vase, so if I have extra presents that I can give, I might take advantage of that. Am I worried about an attack? He shrugs. No, we'll be fine. The governor's got this. And more importantly, we've got explosives. I'd like to see those alien animal null shits beat that. I do have some extra devices, so we'll give him a gift. Know thy enemy. The one thing I wanted to do before the end of the year that I forgot about doing before was going to xenobiology. I found a plant out exploring last year that I want to study. Research xenobotany. Your dad introduces you to the little lab they have set up in one of the greenhouses. It's incredible, he says, gesturing all around him. We're surrounded by alien flora, and we know practically nothing about it. What's edible? What's medicine? What can we make fibers with, or build with, or use in ways we haven't thought of yet? He beams at you. You and me, we're gonna find out, my little potato. Your dad directs you to a research bench, and here's where you'll be working. The bench is buried under samples and beakers and weird-looking alien sprouts. More than just a simple table, the analysis bench is covered with buttons and little holes you could put things into. Don't touch anything. Carefully find the on switch. Find the on switch. There is no on switch. Yep, you looked everywhere. Stick something in a hole. You pull one of the seedlings, put one of the seedlings into a small slot in the table. A little door slides shut, then reopens. A loud brrr noise startles you. Oh no, you broke it! Your dad laughs. Nah, just kidding. You're fine. Good instincts, kiddo. You mash all the table's buttons until, yo, kiddo! It's congruence! The friendly ship's computer beams at you from her own holoscreen set into the bench. Of course she's here. She's the guardian of all knowledge in the colony, after all. You wonder where she got yo from. Your dad laughs. Don't tell anyone, but congruence is the real brains of the operation, he confesses, though it's not like it's a secret. She'll make sure we don't do anything super dangerous, which means you and I get to focus on experimentation. If you follow the rules and stick to what you already know, you won't learn anything new. So don't be afraid to try stuff. Bring your mushwood samples into the lab. You're going to study these and revolutionize the use of mushwood lumber. Maybe. Study this mushwood! You examine the mushwood under a microscope and take notes on its cellular structure. Part of the reason it needs to be harvested in wet is because the cells get so saturated that they lose structural integrity and turn to, well, mush during glow. Studying the exact process by which the cells take in water leads to a breakthrough. It might be possible to hack the process and stop the mushwood trees from taking on too much water during wet. If they don't take on as much water, they won't take as long to dry. You should be able to develop a spray that the loggers can apply to the fruiting body of the mushwood, the part that sticks above the ground, to close its pores. Reducing negative pressure in the body should stop it from pulling so much water from the mycelial network underground. This is great. Logging will be much more efficient now. Cool. Looks like his +1 colony defense. Interesting. Wasn't the plant that I was hoping to study, but that's fine. Alright, 5 kudos if total equals goal. That's good. Usually possible for me to do that. In fact, did that just do it exactly? Great. That was easy. Bunch of biology, some organizing. That's cool. Lots of kudos. Sweet. Alright, and here it comes, the end of the year. You're relaxing in your quarters with your dad when you hear the colony siren. The enemy is here. Your dad looks up from his novel. Huh, seems early this year. We should head to the shelter in the lounge. You've been drilling on new evacuation procedures for the past month. There's no need to be a hero now that there are so many new soldiers from the Helio. It's probably best if you just follow instructions and head to the lounge with your dad. Heck no, rush to the front lines. You muster with the rest of the defense force at the gates. Rhett and Lum are arguing about what tactics to employ. Lum keeps trying to rally the soldiers with a heartening speech about giving it everything they've got, all the drones, all the explosives, and Rhett keeps cutting in. We don't need to take any big risks, Rhett insists. It's a smaller attack, and we have more than enough plas rifles and turrets. We should save our other resources for when we do need them. Why do things halfway? Lum exclaims. We need to get in there and kick their asses back to the goo they came from. We need to show people that we have everything under control. For morale! Rhett tries one more time to wrest control of the forces back from Lum, but Lum cuts him off. Fire the explosive rounds, he orders. Arm the charges! Shells scream through the permanent night, followed by explosions you feel vibrate up through your boots. The Helios are unfazed, but you and the other Strato guards exchange nervous looks. You hear yelling, then another boom as the secondary explosives detonate. The baying of bloodthirsty animals reaches your ears, then... Lum holds his finger to his ear speak. Great work! Just the stragglers incoming. Open the gates! That's a choice. Alright, destroy thing, 1 card, great. Let's just do that. Nice, huge points. Alright, so this is going to be easy. Then, do I have a 4 I can play? No. So I could do something like that. Wow, lots of high cards. Five, 6, 7. Nope. Or just 6, 6, 7. 43. Yeah. Oh, could have gotten one higher. Oh well. +3 combat. Well. Oh, I think that gave me a new perk. Cool. You face off against a lesser Xeno, some kind of finned semi-aquatic thing already half dead and limping doggedly through the gates. It's almost comical how easy it is to stun and kill it. By the time you're done, the other soldiers have dispatched the rest of the creatures. Smoke drifts in from the battlefield from the explosions, an acrid scent of triumph. After the attack, Lum gathers everyone in the lounge and holds a big celebration for the soldiers. There's feasting and drinking and songs of valor, and as the party goes on long into the night, some drift away in pairs or more. Mars and Rex keep the dancing going. Even Nem seems to relax, especially when the other cadets invite her to drink with them. Cal and Tammy sit together and talk all night, giggling about something and going quiet when anyone comes near. I am being visited by a loud meowy boy. Hello. Hello. Do you want to be on stream again? Or do you just want to bother me? And gone. Are we still good with bitrate? Better than we were, okay. We want to have the +1 colony defense. Tonight, everyone seems convinced that this victory means the colony will be safe forever. Maybe it will be. You sure want to believe it, too. An easy glow. Alright, new year. Down, oh, because I unequipped an item that was giving me persuasion, I think. Lots of friendship with Sim. Oh, interesting. You start with like 40 friendship with Sim, it looks like. Bit with Vase. Cool. Let's do it. New perk. Extra card draw. Sweet. Alrighty. Well, let's talk to Mom. Your mom and dad are taking a midday break in the shade of a trellis and wave you over as you approach. Selene, come here, your dad says, pulling up a crate with his foot and patting the top invitingly. Come spend some time with your old mom and pop. How's your day been? Extrasolarly spectacular. Our fearless explorer, your mom drawls, taking a swig from her canteen. She wipes her mouth with the back of her hand and passes the canteen back to your dad. Made friends with any alien life forms yet? Your face goes on a journey. Friends with any what? Do they know about Sim? How could they? Your parents chuckle at your expression. Wow, Selene, your dad says. You know, like the little hop eyes that sneak in, or a blip bug. Oh, those kinds of aliens. You thought for sure they were talking about Sim, but hey, while they're asking... no, I'm not going to tell them about Sim, I don't think. Nope, just boring old humans. Your mom and dad nod and go back to their conversation. You sit with them a while and share the canteen. It's iced blep tea. You're not supposed to drink it because it makes you feel kind of buzzy, but it makes the rest of the afternoon fly by. Drugs. Ooh, crystal. So, what do I want to do this year? I want to do another stint in xenobiology to get, or xenobotany, to try to get the radiation plant that I was looking at doing before. I'm going to want to do some more, generally do some more defense training to get friendship with Vase. Want to make sure I'm still giving people lots of presents, which means I will probably want to go back out to the Western Ridges because they have lots of those strange devices out there, which will be good as gifts for Vase especially. So yeah, let's give out some gifts. You spot Vase talking to a small group of other soldiers and walk over to see what's going on. Vase gives you a cool look as you approach. If you're looking for Rex, you're not going to find him here, he says, and the other soldiers snicker like they're sharing some sort of private joke. You should try out back, or maybe the personal quarters. He does not like Rex. Know thy enemy. Oh, so that unlocked our first event with Vase. You find Vase in the garrison lounge, holding court with a small group of young soldiers, listening to him tell a story about his latest expedition. He's gesturing animatedly with his arms and snarling like a beast. And then I shot it out of the sodding sky. Bam, bam! Vase finishes as you approach. The gathered crowd hoots and hollers for him, which he accepts magnanimously. Looking around, you see that it's mostly his Helio crew. You can tell from their uniformly close-cropped hair and perfect posture, but there are some faces you recognize from the colony. Anemone is here, and she shoots you a little wave. Telling a violent tale. I don't want to... will he be impressed by that, or will he be mad that I took away the spotlight? I bet he'll be mad, so I might just silently join the crowd and... hero worship. The prospect of interrupting Vase's one-man show is too agonizing to imagine. You slip into the crowd of listeners instead. Vase, however, doesn't seem like the type to miss much. His eyes land on you, and a wicked grin spills across his face. Another one comes to pay tribute, he says, gesturing to you. Everyone's attention pivots to where you're sitting. You can tell when a colony kid enters a room, Vase continues. You all stink like animal shit in fear. Vase's friends laugh while the colonists look at each other and smile awkwardly, already not wanting to disagree with Vase. All except for Anemone, who joins in and laughs the loudest of all. Vase kicks out another stool from his table. Come sit beside the king, he addresses you. Maybe you'll learn something. Looks like he wants to make an example out of you. You take a seat beside Vase. He crosses his arms and sits back, looking at you appraisingly. Whatever he sees in you makes him snort dismissively. You feel as if you failed the test. Your ears burn as the other teenagers from the heliopause pass judgment on you and, by extension, the rest of the colony. The only thing this colony is good for is sport. I can't wait to get out there and shoot some aliens, Vase says. He bangs his table on the table with his fist. Those Nelshits aren't going to know what hit him. I love a man who can get what he wants. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to flirt with Vase and see how he takes that. Vase cants his head to the side and shoots you a cocky grin. You can feel the weight of his gaze roam over your body. I do always get what I want. Ooh. You and Vase talk a while longer. Well, mostly he talks while you and his friends listen. Eventually the little crowd breaks up as people move on to their other duties. Vase says goodbye to all of the Heliopause soldiers by name, some of the colony ones too. Anemone lingers a little longer than the rest, catching Vase's eye. He reaches out to her and they grasp forearms. It's good to have you around, Anemone, he says. For a colony brat, you're pretty legit. Thanks, Anemone replies, eyes wide. You're pretty cool too. Anemone scuttles away quickly after that. Her face is red. Eventually, it's just the two of you left. Vase stands up and puts his hands on his hips, surveying the garrison, his kingdom. All we did on the Heliopause was train for this exact moment, he says. We were literally made for this. We're the best of the best. He leans into your space and fixes you with a wolfish smile, which makes me the best thing to happen to this planet since it started shitting out oxygen. Don't you forget it. What a pleasant boy. Just a nice, nice boy. Hugs from Rex. Rex folds you into his arms, bending his whole body to you. He smells warm and a little spicy, like clean sweat and sunshine. It's a good hug, the kind that makes you instantly just a little more relaxed. Always go for hugs from Rex. And I got lots of logs, so here's a present. Nomi is doodling in their sketchbook, but looks up with a big smile as you approach. They turn off their hearspeak. Hi, Selene. What you doing? Me, I'm just practicing drawing hands. It's really hard. All the tutorials say that everything is just made up of shapes, but I don't get it. They extend their hand to you, fingers outstretched. How is this made up of a prism and 5 cylinders? It bends. The ongoing struggle of drawing hands. Alrighty, so yeah, I think I'm going to go back over to Xenobotany one more time. Maybe do some exploring. Back in the lab, you have all the right equipment to properly examine that radioactive plant you found. Perfect. Maybe you can find a way to protect yourself from them so you don't need to drag a radiation-proof envirosuit with you every time you go to that part of the planet. Radiation poisoning isn't the killer it used to be on Earth. With medbeds, you can flush out deadly doses of radiation in a few hours. It could still make you really sick, though, and high enough doses could kill you before you're even able to reach a medbed. How confident are you that you know how to protect yourself? Oh no, I don't have high enough engineering. Not at all, actually. Good call. Maybe you can come back again later after collecting more samples. Ah, it's too bad. Okay, so I need just 4 more engineering. You know what? I'm just gonna... boop, doop, doo. Not do that then, huh? I need 4 more engineering. I know I can get some engineering if I go exploring, so maybe I'll just... Yeah, I have low enough stress. Maybe I'll just do that now, and then I can come back and do some other stuff. So we're going to survey the ridge. So I have high enough perception that I can, I'm allowed to skip encounters, which is nice, because that means I can start by sort of going around and just collecting as many items as possible. Then sort of go through and pick and choose which encounters I want to do. So I'll just run around here for a bit. Back up this way. Actually, I know this one is going to give me some engineering, so I'm going to do this real quick. You find your way blocked by a massive wall, now a hollow pillar knocked over and lying on its side in the sand. It's absolutely massive. It stretches to your left and right, at least a kilometer in each direction, though at some points it's crumbled enough that you could likely scale over it. Engineering challenge. It's good for gem cards, which I don't have any, so let's get rid of just some of these others. Oh, it becomes blue, so that's unfortunate. Oh well. I'll be fine. So that's a gem card. So maybe I'll save that for the last round, because then I can do a whole bunch of those. In the meantime... I guess something like that. And all of these are gem cards, so maybe not. Something like that. Something like that. There we go. That's probably not the best I can do, but we're just going to go for it. Also engineering. You find more scraps from convergent domain writing and technology. You document everything and bring it back to Utopia. Oh, I got some kudos for that too. Sweet. Because my bravery is high enough and I have a little hot eye with me and calm temperament, I'm taking a lot less stress from each of these events too, which means I'll be able to do a lot more of them before being forced to go home. And here's Sim. Hi, Sim. Sulain, Sim greets you warmly. My favorite human. What can I do for you? I'm going to give him a gift, because I will get the friendship, and he gives it back. Sim examines your gift in great detail and asks various questions about where and when you found it. He hums to himself as he turns it over in his hands, a broad smile on his face. Remarkable, Sulain. Just remarkable, he says as he hands it back to you. You are truly the most thoughtful of gift givers. I have enjoyed your present to the fullest. You try to explain that he can keep it, but he just smiles again and shakes his head. Lots of yellow flowers out, which is interesting. I think some of the, like, what appears in different places is seasonal, but I've never figured out exactly what the what the patterns are. There's too many different seasons and different places to explore. But I am getting the strange devices, which is the main thing that I was looking for out here, so that I have gifts to give to Vase. Oh, Utopia's out here. Sure, we'll talk to Utopia. Utopia has sent a team of geologists to take a closer look at this region's weird terrain. You come across them working, and Utopia beckons you over. Sulain, she says, drawing everyone's attention to you. Sulain, come here. Everyone, Sulain's been working in this area a while, and I'm sure he's got plenty of information on what's out here. The geologists politely turn towards you and listen. Here's what we've got so far, Utopia says, speaking directly to you. Judging from how the layers of sedimentation are broken up, this place used to be pretty flat, for there must have been a ton of earthquake activity, ripping up the land and bringing up these huge ridges. We can date the quakes around the time a lot of these ruins were created, she adds, and we're looking, but we haven't seen anything built after it. Like that was it for the old convergent domain. These broken up layers are the same across the planet. Something sure happened about 20,000 years ago. Yeah, let's share findings on the Gardener's Array. The what now, Utopia asks? I ain't never heard of that, she says, and the geologists all exchange similar looks. You explain that the convergent domain had this huge computer network, and some of it is still running. It was used to study and maintain the planet. It might even be dangerous. Utopia doesn't look convinced. I'm not the one to throw out a theory, but that's pretty far-fetched, Elaine. All we've seen are ruins. She squints and thinks it over. Well, if that's true, maybe something went wrong with this array and it overloaded all the solar crystals. That level of cataclysmic disaster is the sort of thing what might end a civilization. One of them talks, his name is Sim. Ooh, okay, this is a Delusions, so I have to go for it. If you can hear some noises in the background, I apologize. My husband is making a pie. One of them talks, and his name is Sim. Oh, Utopia says pointedly, as if remembering that you're that Solain, the one with the weird dreams. Honey, them aliens have been dead for millennia, she says gently. They're like the dinosaurs. They're extinct. Some of their technology might still be running, but they're long dust, she says. I know how the imagination does run wild, but there's enough real mysteries out here without adding our own. She claps you on the shoulder. Your parents wouldn't appreciate me humoring you anymore. Sorry, kiddo. You set up a drone hive to measure the sediment layers along the cliffside and learn a few things about rocks. Cool. Oh, and there's a new boss encounter thing. So, it looks like I got all the collectibles. I still have quite a bit of stress, so I'll just grab a few events and then come back for the boss. The path ahead is blocked by a field of snaking vines and brambles. They're flowering, enormous happy blossoms, swaying in the shimmering heat waves. You could push through them, but your holopalm beeps a warning. A radiation warning. Oh, so this is the radioactive plant that I don't know how to deal with yet. So, no, I'm going to turn around and we'll do a different event. A beautiful little locust lands on your arm. It calmly washes its face with its forearms and vibrates its wings like it's cooling off. Aw, the poor little guy is all alone. Now befriend it. Perception challenge. Ooh, lots of high cards. Card becomes a 3. Card is going to become a 3 anyway. Take advantage of the wild value for some pairs. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah, easy. Nope, not going to be able to get a straight on that side. Very inconveniently placed card becomes a 3. But we could do a 3, 4, 5 for a straight. I'm sure I could do better, but I don't need to. Yeah, way better. Huh. You look it up on your holopalm. It's a mask wing, named because when it's frightened, it opens its wings all the way and flips them forward, making it look like a grimacing manticore. Scary. But even scarier is how much they can eat. They usually eat leafy plant matter, but they're not above eating fabric, wood, hair, or even skin. They swarm in dust and in hot places like the ridges. You see something out of the corner of your eye and look up from your new friend. Oh. In the distance you see a haze above the ground. It's the locusts, each one bigger than your fist. These insectoids can eat their weight in under an hour. There are millions of them out there, and they'll be here soon. Your buddy takes off to join its friends, and you gotta go! You make it to your glider in time, thankfully. You come back to this place later in the week. What foliage there had been is now stripped bare. The only things still standing are the crystals glinting in the sunlight. Utopia has sent you and Dis to study one of the large crystal outcroppings. Up close, you can't help but get the sense that they're alive somehow. They're angular and hard to the touch, but they have a sort of sponginess and warmth to them that's a little disconcerting. They emit a humming noise. Dis pokes one with his finger. Weird. It almost looks like they're breathing. Another unfortunate one to get locked in place. Well, we'll do something like that to start with. Yeah, alright. All cards become red. That'll help. Let's get some of these high values in there. Or do I save that for the last round? Get a few 6s in a row. Well, I can't get more than 2 in a row anyway. Yeah, I'll be okay. 6, 13, 9. It's got to be pretty good, right? Could have gotten a few more, but no. You notice that they hum the loudest at midday under full sun. The few crystals that have grown under shaded outcroppings are less vibrant than the others. They kind of look like convergence domain tech, don't they, it just says. Like the organic obsidian or the crystals embedded in the ruins. Try blocking the crystal sun. On a hunch, you cover up one with some ferns. After an hour, it stops vibrating. Something deep inside it has gone dormant. The crystal turns clear, like the ones that were shadowed naturally. When you remove the fronds, its color returns. Oh, so it's like photosynthesis, Dis exclaims. But it's not a plant, right? Let's try uprooting one. They do indeed have roots, and they're really tough. You dig around the base of one and expose them so you can see. They're made of the same glass, but rough and frosted. And warm, much warmer than the surrounding soil. The roots go down deeper than you can dig. You won't be able to remove one without breaking it. Well, let's try breaking it. You wiggle one of the crystals like a loose tooth. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Boom! Oh no. You're thrown by the explosion. When the dust settles and you brush off the shards of warm crystal, you realize that some of the nearby crystals have also exploded. Are they connected underground? Yes! I know my Corzal network when I see one, Dis exclaims. They're alive, like fungus, but also kind of artificial, like the Convergent Domain's buildings. I bet they were used to harvest energy from sunlight, like living solar panels. I wonder if they've been growing wild this whole time, or if they still power something. He stops. Wait, are you okay, Selene? You dust yourself off and scribble excitedly in your survey notes. This is an important scientific discovery. It only cost me a whole bunch of stress. How much do I have left? I think probably do one more encounter before going to that boss. You come across a particularly flat area, a large field of obsidian. Well, obsidian is the only word you have for it, but you've never seen obsidian this bright. It's like a rainbow trapped underneath its glossy black surface. Like the entire ground here is polished black opal. The field glints under the sun at certain angles, momentarily blinding you. It looks slippery and shiny. Skate on through it. 5 kudos of total equals goal. Awesome. Man, if I can even get that high, I drew a bunch of low cards. Got a couple gems, though, so we'll take advantage of that. Some like that. Yeah, I should be okay here. All Barathlon champion cards in a row. Probably something like that is the best I can do. Hey, it was the best. You take off your shoes and glide around in your sock feet. You take a tumble and get a little bruised. But have a blast. Woo! I could do some science while I'm here. Or I could just enjoy myself. It might actually get me more stress back. Which will let me do a few more things. So I might do that. Extra bravery and a little more stress off. Alright, so I can do at least one more encounter then. You're trudging along when suddenly you're buffeted by a hot wind. No, like a very hot wind. Lethally hot. The ridges are already baking, and all of a sudden it feels like you're trapped in a nuclear reactor. Your skin dries out and your lips begin to crack. Your eyeballs feel like sandpaper. Let's find the source. You take careful readings from a distance, triangulate them, and discover the source of the wind. A red, sports ball-sized crystal emanator hidden in a small crevice. When you smash it, it doesn't shatter like crystal. It almost looks as if it could have been organic. Is it some kind of defensive barrier? Yet another weird mystery of these ridges. Oh, one more. You investigate a weird squeaking noise, eventually following it to its source. An undulating swarm of sleek creatures are gathered on the cliff above you. You watch as they throw their tiny bodies off of the edge, plummeting past you and out of sight. They scream and screech in excitement. Okay, weird. So last time I did this encounter, I filmed it from a distance, but this time I'll get close to investigate. You pick your way down the slope, finding a second herd of miraculously unharmed weasels at the bottom. As you watch them, one lands on your head and, squeaking indignantly, goes to join the rest of its kin. Ouch! If you weren't here last time I played through, I love this encounter because these are... this is the Finji logo, the publisher of the game. Got the creature in as a little alien for the world. I love it. As you watch them, one lands on your head and, squeaking indignantly, goes to join the rest of its kin. You hear the flapping of wings and look up. A whole colony of pink and orange Dorbs moth cling to the rocks overhead, nearly camouflaged. As the squealing of the weasels above reaches a fever pitch, the Dorbs moth restlessly take off from the cliff and flutter around. You watch as one of the little creatures pitches off the edge of the cliff and lands square on a Dorbs moth's back, sending them both plummeting to the bottom. As the large moth crashes fatally into the ground, the weasel curls its body and bounces harmlessly away and scurries back to feed on its prey. Oh! Bounce, weasels! You record the screeching on your holopalm. What a noise. Cool. Alright, now I'm gonna head and do that boss encounter. You and Dis are exploring the ruined wormhole observatory again. It feels so familiar. You've dreamed about this place many times, and it's like you're just remembering it all now. This time, the dream memories grip you. You wander as if sleepwalking down familiar paths. You look up and see the wormhole faint in the sky above. The time is right to observe it. Dis tries to keep up. "Where are you going?" he asks angrily. You don't answer. You're trying to concentrate on finding the place. You approach the large pyramid at the center of the complex. Beside it is one of the smaller elevators, a little monolith with a round iris door. This is the place. Your head throbs with it. Even standing outside, you know there's something down there. Find a way in. You look for one of those elevator monoliths near the pyramid and find it, but it's overgrown with snaking vines and brambles, with very large flowers all over. You could push through them, but Dis stops you and shows you a Geiger counter reading on his holopalm. These flowers seem to be radioactive. Your suit won't protect you for long. Oh no, I wonder if I had done the research, this would have been okay. Oops, push through. You soon realize your mistake as the radiation illness sets in. Brushing by those flowers give you a big dose. You'll be sick for days and need radiation treatment when you return. But for now, you continue, drawn irresistibly forward by something that sings in your head. You enter the elevator, thankfully still working, and descend beneath the ground. It opens to a kind of antechamber room with an exit at the other end leading to the heart of the pyramid. There are glyphs carved into crystal panels on the walls, symbols that resemble the wormhole. You start across the room. The further you go, the more your head swims. You have to pause. You think you might faint, and it isn't just the radiation. There's something down here, some great energy, and it's making your head hurt. You shake your head, trying to clear it. Wait, maybe this is a bad idea. Alright, well, I definitely, have way more stress than I need to continue, so I will have to leave. I might come back here at full stress another time if I've, depending on what else is going on this year. Dis has to practically drag you out of there. The pull of the thing was so strong. When you're back at the glider drop point and you can think clearly again, you feel fine again and wonder what the hell came over you. So does Dis. He decides to leave with you rather than explore by himself. Yeah, I wonder if I'll be able to go back and do that. Just going to make a note of that as well. Year 7. Ridge's boss requires no stress. Making some notes for future playthroughs. The suns rise again after a glow, heralding a new year. It's your 16th birthday. You wake in your new quarters, blinking into the watery sunlight. Dust motes float through the air, and you take a moment to enjoy the perfection of your bed while you listen to the sounds of the colony waking up outside. So much has happened in 1 year. Just a few short months ago, you thought your life was over. Now it's better than ever. There's plenty of food, and the colony is safe. You even have your own bedroom. You're considering snoozing until your parents wake up when your reverie is interrupted by someone sitting on your balcony. It's Dis. He's on your balcony? He's starting to act more like Sim every day. You're finally awake, Dis says, slipping off your railing. I thought you were going to sleep away your whole birthday. Happy birthday, by the way. You watch the sunrise in companionable silence. You look down from the balcony and see Tammy and Cal walking hand in hand across the colony square. When they get to the lounge, they embrace. Wait, are they kissing? No way! Well, it's only a matter of time, honestly. Your parents wake up shortly after that, and you order up your traditional birthday breakfast feast. Your dad gives you a big squeezy hug and tells you he's proud of you. Alright, mid-quiet. I always forget if anyone else has... I don't think anyone else has a quiet birthday, no. I don't know Sim's birthday. I don't know if Sim has a birthday. I wonder how that works. I'll commit AI construct. Likes everything. Dislikes nothing. Love it. Alright, so I've done gifts for the people who I need to give gifts to this month, which is mostly the new folks. Rex, Nomi, and Vase. Tammy has a birthday cake for me, as usual. It's just the normal text for that. Of course, I'll share it. I'd break soon, but I did get some stress back, so I think I might just do one more something before I take a break. And so I will finally go do that xenobotany thing that I've been wanting to do, now that I have the engineering to do it. So, how confident are you that you know how to protect yourself? Super confident. No problem. You totally got a handle on this. You're an engineering wonderkind. You take all the correct precautions. You clear the area of anything that might be contaminated. You wear a radiation-proof hazsuit. You regularly check the radiation levels of the lab, and you have congruence on standby to call for help if you need it. Everything goes smoothly. You discover that the radioactive part of the plant is confined to the carpel of the flower, its reproductive organs, that the petals act as a radioactive shield to protect the rest of the plant. If you press the center of the flower, the petals close and block the radiation enough that a person can pass by without feeling sick. Neat! You should be able to use this to protect yourself next time you encounter this plant in the wild. Excellent. 5 kudos of total equals goal, so I'm going for a 32. We start with a 5. So let's see. Good start. Good start. And just an extra 4. Perfect. Lots of kudos, too, which is cool. Oh, yeah, I have a ton of kudos now. Alright, late quiet. Now I am very stressed, so I will do some relaxing. I think, yes, you still haven't... Or neither of you have actually leveled up yet, it looks like. So, I'm going to rest and see if I can get that to happen, because I should be able to get them to level 2. Hello, Lindsay! How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. The fascists have arrived. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh well, I guess I had enough stress that I could do one more thing. Your work often overlaps with Tangent's work in the biochemistry and genetics lab, so it's not uncommon for her to pop by and ask questions about what you're working on, or for you to ask her for help interpreting some test results. She's uncharacteristically animated whenever she gets to talk about science, almost like she's a whole different person. She even laughs sometimes. Yes, exactly. Very stressed out about the fascists being here. We'll see how that all goes. Don't you think it's so interesting how Vertumnan species resist being classified by any known taxonomy? She asks, peering into the root network you've sandwiched between pieces of clear glass. She stands up. It feels like everything is a little bit fungal, she says. Spores, fruiting bodies, mycelial networks, even in animals. Some animals here even photosynthesize. She nods excitedly. The division between plant, animal, and fungus is less strict here than it was on Earth. At the cellular level, many animal species have properties of plants and vice versa. She launches into an explanation of how high-energy bonds store energy and require a metal catalyst like iron in human blood and chlorophyll in green earth plants, but how the different hues of Vertumnan plants must mean that they use an entirely unknown elemental catalyst, possibly not even a metal at all. It's a little advanced for you, but Tang is very excited about it. Ooh, help advance her theory. You show Tangent what you've been working on, all the samples and simulations, the results of scans and experiments. Incredible, Tangent says, going over to your notes. We've been attempting to map the genomes of various samples in order to construct a phylogenetic tree, but we're at capacity already. Can I take this? Sure. +1 helped Tangent. Tangent smiles. Thank you, Selene. This is more helpful than I can say. Chief Engineer Instance forwards you for some kudos for sharing your research. I'm sure that won't come back to bite me in any way at all. You're gonna get some pluses anyway. If I do 4, 5, 6, that's nice. A couple of pairs. Sweet. Always could have done better. Oh well. Alright, so now I definitely need to rest, but we are in a new month, and it is somebody's birthday. No, late pollen. Early pollen, Rex's birthday. Oh, and Dis wants to chat. Hey, Dis. Dis is relaxing in the back of one of the expedition vehicles, absorbed in a hollow novel. You clear your throat, and he jumps and gives you an awkward but genuine smile. Hey, Selene, he says, pulling his legs out of the way so you can climb in beside him. It's getting harder to find places to be alone here, don't you think? I'd kill to be out exploring, but Utopia insisted we have a rest day. He rolls his eyes. Dis closes his hollow novel and sighs. It's just so crowded here, he complains, and it's boring. I'd rather be out there with Sim, learning about this planet, Dis continues, looking wistful. He folds his hands over his heart. He's so interesting. I could talk to him forever, you know. Like, we really connect. Have you gotten much out of him? Yeah, Dis exclaims, sitting up straighter. Well, I mean, sort of. He still says there's stuff I'm not supposed to know yet, but I figured out a lot on my own. The biggest thing is that the planet is basically all connected, like a fungal network that's so old and complex that it's practically like a computer, he says, talking fast and excited. And not just the mushrooms, the trees, the animals, even the rocks in the water. Dis smiles. He didn't want me to know that one, he confides in you, but I guessed it. Remember how your dad got sick every year from the pollen and it was actually fungal spores? Well, I just started thinking from there, and yeah, it's like every year the planet refreshes its communication network with fresh spores. It's so cool. I didn't know that. Well, how about the fact that Sim is really old? Like, really, really old, Dis continues. Like, probably thousands of years old. Sometimes he talks about stuff from ancient history like he was really there. 'Cause he totally was. Dis laughs a little, but he still acts like a kid sometimes, you know? Like he loves holovids and candy and playing tricks. I had no idea. Oh, and I've seen other gardeners, Dis said quietly. They don't look like Sim at all. They look like... well, they look scary. No way. Okay, one more, Dis says, his face going pink. The gardeners don't have clothes. Sim was naked when I met him. I had to bring him clothes from the colony. Are you blushing? No, Dis stammers, his face going even more red. It was just really embarrassing, okay? He was naked. I didn't know where to look. What about you, Dis asks. What has he told you? The convergent domain made to the gardeners. Dis listens in shocked silence as you unburden yourself of everything you've learned about the convergent domain, the gardeners, and the history of Vertumna. To his credit, he doesn't once say that you're making things up. Of all the people in the colony, you know Dis is the one person who you can count on to believe you without question. When you're done, Dis just stares out the window of the cab. Finally, he blinks and clears his throat, as if coming out of a daze. I have to talk to Sim about this, he says. This changes everything. I wish we could tell people about Sim, Dis says. I feel like if people knew him like we do, they'd realize that what we're doing here is wrong. But I'm scared that if I tell someone, Sim will never talk to me again. He says we're not ready. Can't tell anyone what we know. The gardeners are dangerous. I mean, I do think the gardeners are dangerous. Certainly in this playthrough. Well, Dis says, looking inflicted. Maybe not, but we can trust Sim, right? Right, gifts. I was doing gifts. Rex! Rex is perched on a fence, his lunch forgotten in his lap as he hollers compliments at people passing by. That color looks great on you, he yells at someone. Have you been working out? He yells at another. He catches you watching and shoots you a goofy grin. Back on Earth, they used to call this cat calling, he says, shrugging. My way's better, I think. Adorable. Always hug from Rex. Rex throws his arms wide. Coach, I'm open, he laughs, catching you as you throw yourself into his arms. He spins you around and growls into your neck, squeezing you tightly. It's a good hug, the kind that makes you instantly just a little more relaxed. Oh, and now a new thing. You find Rex in an empty space outside the lounge, setting up a construction holoprojector and running through different projections of future buildings, taking notes on each. He looks up from his holopalm as you approach and bursts into a huge smile. Well, hey, Selene! What is my friendship with Rex now? Okay, it's just 20. What's going on? Rex jerks a thumb at his chest. You're looking at the newest member of the colony construction crew. I'm surveying the colony for places to build new private family quarters. People are going to want to raise families here soon. Isn't that real? Families? Yeah, Rex says, beaming with excitement. Especially us Helios. We've been cooped up on a spaceship for too long, and, you know, when people get grass under their feet and fresh air in their noses... He bumps his hip into yours with a whoop of laughter. They get frisky! Get ready for a baby boom. Houses are going to be in demand. Besides, he continues, I think I kind of got an idea of what I want to contribute to the colony. I want to build a bar. A real one. Not just a canteen. Nice decor, a space for live music, cushions everywhere, fun drinks. Marcia's been helping me with the details. He sighs dreamily. Can you imagine? A place where the whole point is to just relax and be with your friends. That's a great idea. I think so too, Rex says, spreading his hands wide. People need leisure time. We need to connect with other humans. We're social creatures. We need our packs. All I want to do is help people connect with each other, you know? Rex says, I love building things. I love cooking things. I love making people happy. Coming together to create something is why we're alive. He gestures around. And I don't mean buildings. I mean, they're all right, but what I'm really into is everything that goes into making a building. It's more than just walls and a ceiling. It's an agreement between people that we're going to form a society, that we're going to cooperate to make something bigger than ourselves, and then we're going to meet there in peace. Rex shakes his head, clearing his thoughts. Sorry, I'm just really passionate about this stuff, he laughs. This, and hugs. We humans are also really good at hugs. Aww. Rex rubs his thumb across his chin, thinking, Hey, actually, can you help me? Can you bring me any mushwood sticks or logs you find? I want to start stockpiling them, so when I get approval to start building the bar, we're good to go. Shouldn't you fetch the sticks for me? Of course I will. Rex bounces on his heels and launches into a huge hug. Thank you, he exclaims. I really appreciate it. If you find any, you just bring them to me. I love Rex. This is such a wonderful take on, you know, society and community. There's so much individualism these days, and we forget. I mean, you know, just think about the pandemic and what some people would do versus, wearing a mask for the good of the community versus being selfish and not, for instance. So I really appreciate this. Rex is wonderful. Oh, and I haven't given you a stick yet. You're standing around gossiping with Rex when he suddenly goes quiet. You turn to see a group of teenage soldiers in the Helios staring back at you from across the courtyard, scowling in derision. Don't pay attention to them, Rex mutters, turning back to you. If they know they can get under your skin, they'll never leave you alone. Trust me, it's better just to smile. Present for Rex. Woo! Rex howls with happiness as he takes the mushwood from you. You remembered my birthday and brought me the perfect thing to help build my bar. And a gift for Nomi. You guys don't have to worry with us around, Nomi says proudly. It's super great that we showed up when we did, right? Now the colony can protect itself, and the people on the Helio who didn't want to be soldiers, Nomi gestures at themselves, well, we don't have to be. Nice. It makes rainbows! They're so cute. Alright, Vase. Oh look, it's Rex's little friend, Vase says, crossing his arms. Go on, impress me then. Why should I care about what you have to say? I have a present for you, jeez. Know thy enemy. Oh, new scene with Tang. You spot Tangent leaning against the wall outside engineering. She's yawning, rubbing her eyes, and staring off into space. She startles as you walk up. Oh, Selene, I was just taking a short break. Yawns are infectious. Join in and yawn too. Did you stay up all night too, she asks. I don't even remember when I slept last. It might have been a few days ago. You haven't slept in 2 days? More like 3, she replies, then pauses for another jaw-cracking yawn. That, as I said, I'm tired. Even my enhanced body has limitations. You look at her quizzically. I don't need to sleep as much as other people. It's genetic what's-it, she says foggily. You know, a DNA enhancement. I guess sometimes I even forget to do it. I guess sometimes even I forget to do it. I should set myself a reminder. Hollow. Add to schedule, sleeping nightly, 2300 for 3 hours. Her hollow palm emits a tone in response. Tangent nods sleepily. That should do it, she murmurs. Her eyes are practically closed. Find her some place to take a nap. Tang follows you obediently into the engineering wing, too tired to protest. You slip into medbay to grab a blanket and pillow off a shelf. By the time you return, Tang's already fallen asleep, curled up in an egg chair in the waiting area. You gently place the blanket over her, and she hums happily before going slack with much-needed sleep. Great little slice of life moments. Alright, so, right, I need to rest. I desperately need to rest. Relax in the park. Hopefully we can level up some pets. You're pulling weeds in the garden when you hear raised voices coming from the barn. Socks's barn. Oh, yes. Cal is standing in front of the doors, blocking Vase from entering. What do you mean I can't go in there? Vase spits. What, this colony has top secret clearance now? You just can't, okay? Cal sputters. Vase tries to get around him, but Cal wedges himself between Vase and the door again. Why do you even need to, anyway? Val shoves Cal hard. I'm on patrol, nullhead. I don't give a shit what's in the barn, but all of a sudden I care a lot about why you don't want me in there. Cal shoots you a look of pure fear. Socks must be out of her box. What do you do? Oh no, I don't have friendship high enough with Vase. I haven't had time. Oh, and I don't have the wait. I could do this. Slip around and let Socks out. I'm gonna do a sneaky little autosave load. Don't mind me. Boop. No, I want that. Hey, where was I? Do. Convince Vase the barn isn't safe. You jog over and ask Cal if the barn is safe yet, because you need to grab a shovel from it. Cal looks confused, so you widen your eyes at him and clarify that you don't want to go in there unless they're done fumigating. You know, for the dust moth larvae? Vase recoils. Urgh, he groans. Forget it. Why didn't you just say so? Cal closes the barn door and heaves a sigh of relief. That was close, he mutters, wiping his forehead. Ah, did you know you can still stress sweat even if you're always the right temperature? He leans his back against the door. It's getting harder to keep Socks a secret, he admits. There's so many people here now, and also, she looks like that. He whistles, and Socks slinks down from the rafters. Oh, she's so much bigger than you remember. She must have doubled in size since the last time you saw her. You count 24 feet. She can't even stretch out in the barn anymore. She trills, sounding worried, and Cal clicks his tongue at her and pats his lap. Socks curls up and rests her great big head on Cal's lap, looking up at him with an adoring expression. Aw, he rubs her nose and scritches behind her frill. When you saw the wild dilly pillar eating those rocks, what did it look like? He asks. You tell Cal what you remember of the great beast, that even from a distance you could tell it was at least as long as the whole colony wall, that it ate boulders like soy sweets. Back when Socks was a baby caterpillar, you almost didn't recognize them as the same species, but looking at her now, you know she's got the blood of dragons in her. Cal bites his lip. I was afraid you'd say that, he says softly. What are we gonna do? So, had that scene. Didn't get my pet level ups, but that's okay. I can get rid of Delusions, but I'm actually going to get rid of this one, because that's a tough one. You're woken by the buzzing of your holopalm. It's a colony-wide alert. You rub your eyes and ponder the thickness of the air seeping into your bedroom through the open veranda door. It's an ominous but beautiful sight. The seasonal pale pink haze has turned to a deep fuchsia, with scintillating silver sparkles floating through it. The shimmer. Thankfully, you've all been inoculated against the shimmer, because this looked like a bad year for the airborne spores. To be safe, you stay inside and seal your doors and windows tightly. You spend the time playing holo games with your dad. After a couple days, the pollen fog passes without incident. I guess that would have been bad if I hadn't already solved the shimmer. That might have been the moment when things went south fast. I'm going to do a quick check-in with everyone to see if I've gotten any skills high enough that I can do their little extra events. Oh, I do, help with the animals. Your dad is running some kind of test on the Trippets. He's playing different chords and trying to see if they have language or are just making instinctive animal calls. You help him by holding up random objects and trying to determine if their sounds match any understanding of what they're seeing. They're either saying, kill all humans, or linguini sports ball, your dad says, staring at the readout on his holopalm. I just can't be sure. Awkward. Can't do that one. Is that another animals one that I can do? No. Mars surveys the colony like a queen regarding her subjects. I've been thinking about ways to improve this trash heap, she says. The problem is getting people to listen to my ideas. They still think I'm just some kid, she scoffs. As if. If they think of me as a child, they'll be all the more surprised when I'm running the place. It's fair. Get into a debate. Mars would never stoop to using her fists to get her way, but she loves a good fight nonetheless. You ask her what she would have done differently if she'd been the captain of the Stratospheric when you landed, and her eyes go wide. She launches into a laundry list of shoulda wouldas, and whatever she says she would have done, you offer reasoning for why it wouldn't have worked. After a little while of this, Mars is positively invigorated. Wow, you really thought about all of this, didn't you? She says, cracking a little smile. You're totally right. It's a lot more complicated than just making decisions and telling people what to do. Thank you. It's so important to have people like you around to keep me on my toes. She cracks her knuckles. Okay, but when I'm governor, I will do so much better than the adults can. Mars is working in the depot today. You find her sitting on a pile of boxes, drumming her feet against them as she flips dismissively through a magazine on her holopalm. Every so often, she snorts at something she's read and rolls her eyes. Oh, hey, Selene, she says as you approach. Would you rather have really bad body odor for a whole day, or have to spend the whole day naked? Bad body odor, I guess? Mars pulls a face. Really? You, I suppose. At least being naked isn't going to bother other people. I'm reading some of the teen magazines from Old Earth, Mars says. You know, like fashion and makeup and dating and stuff. She turns to a new page and reads out loud. Don't be afraid to use green concealer. You may look like the Wicked Witch at first, but don't click your heels and go home. Stick with it and you'll be on that yellow brick road to clear, beautiful skin. Mars laughs incredulously. What does that even mean? Papa taught me to put on makeup because I wanted to be pretty like him, Mars says. But it was never like, cover up your blemishes, make your nose smaller, hide your scungy pores. And that's all they ever talk about in these things. And it's like, was Earth fashion really about making everyone look as small as possible? What was wrong with them? Mars gestures to herself. I was the biggest kid the whole time we were growing up, and I've always been gorgeous. And that's not just my genetic enhancement talking. The hardest thing to write was the ancient Cosmo text. Yeah, I can only imagine, Lindsay. If nothing else, the mental challenge of having to do that research, perhaps. That's hilarious. I love Mars's body positivity, though. She's evolves into such an interesting character over the course of the game, especially. She seems just sort of like a bratty kid at first, and then there's, so much more to her. And even early on, like, the standing up to her gets her respect, which is such a cool thing. Sometimes I think they should have just made everyone unable to feel shame, Mars says. Like, all these magazines talk about is how to fix your flaws or act different so people will like you. It's such a waste of time. Mars tosses her hair over her shoulder. If people don't like me, they can flick off. I literally don't care what they think. Mars pats the box next to her and you climb up and sit by her side. The dating advice in these things is pretty good, though, she says, flipping through a few pages. Like, my dad's taught me about reproduction and stuff, but they get so squicked out when I asked how you actually get someone to have sex with you. She rolls her eyes. Teenagers on Earth were apparently very worried about getting boys to like them, Mars says. Like, look at this quiz. 10 ways to tell if he's super into you. Mars smirks and angles her holoscreen away from you. Ooh, let's see how into me you are, Selene. First question. Do you have any cute nicknames for me? No. That's fair, Mars says. I don't have any for you. Second question. Do you get nervous around me? No. Not even a little bit, Mars says, acting like she's affronted. Last question. Do you go out of your way to see me? Yeah, I stop by to talk to you all the time. Aw, Selene, Mars beams. I am happy whenever you come talk to me. Us sophisticated folks gotta stick together. Mars makes a frustrated noise and dismisses her holoscreen. Ugh, this is so wimpy, she groans. What was wrong with Earth teens? If you want to know if someone likes you, just ask them. It's easy, if you're not a coward. Mars turns to you and leans in, bracketing your legs with her arms. You can smell her body lotion, light and floral, and feel the heat of her chest against your arm. She pouts and looks at you through her lashes. What about it, Selene? Do you like me? What's not to love about you, gorgeous? What? No, we're just friends. I like Dis more. Ooh, that might, that's an interesting... because I have been flirting most with this, though I haven't been doing the full flirt with this, but I'm just gonna stick with it. We're just friends. Mars doesn't even look disappointed. She leans back and brushes her hand down the sleeves of your jacket, as if dusting you off. See, it's just that easy, she says breezily. I love it. Right. We are mid-pollen now. I don't think there's any mid-pollen birthdays. You're early. Tammy is late pollen. Yeah. I have rested, so what is next, do I think? Do you want to get more friendship with Vase? I'll also be doing more of that probably later when we start doing some exploring type stuff. I might try to go back out and do that boss encounter, just go straight to the boss encounter basically, and then I can come back and do some combat training maybe. Survey the ridge. Lindsay, how weird is it to hear other people read the words that you've written? Because you've listened into a few people's streams at various times since the game came out. Is it like flattering, or do people stumble over words and you cringe a little bit? What's that like? If you're still in chat. Oh, Sim has a new thing too. You're walking up a trail when you're caught by surprise. It's Sim. He's running. You're knocked to the side as he pushes past you. Oh no, is this the... Oh no, I don't think I want to do this encounter right now. Nothing happening here. What is that friendship with Sim? I'm still 40. I really like hearing people read my words honestly. Oh, that's good. It can be very, very flattering to hear people. I definitely see every typo all over again fresh, though. Yeah, fair. I hear a bunch of them got fixed, but yeah, that's it happens. It happens. Yeah, no, it's I agree. It can be really nice to hear people read your words every once in a while, like when people are doing Let's Plays of Glitch Hikers, for instance, and they, there's some like intonation that they do. I don't want to say wrong, but sort of not how I intended in the writing. Where I'm always like a little cringy, but overall it is, it's flattering to have people engage with your writing like that. Of hearing people's voices for the characters. Yeah, for sure. I don't do a lot of voice stuff. It's always been, even playing Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. I don't really go for the voices like some people do. I'm no voice actor, but at least the intonations that I give to the characters, I try to do a little bit differently. Certainly, Lum and Vase and folks like that. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Anytime someone nails that Utopia has a cheesy drawl, I'm so stoked. Yes, yeah. I again, if I could do more accents, that might work. But I do my best. But yes, it does definitely come across that she's supposed to have a cheesy drawl. I love that. There's a line in Glitch Hikers, actually in the original Glitch Hikers First Drive as well, that's then also in the spaces between, where a character refers to, they're smoking a joint, and they refer to BC Bud, as in marijuana from British Columbia, as we know it here, or certainly did before it became legal. And I hear people read it all the time, because the line is, good old BC Bud, when you ask her if she's smoking a joint, and I hear people read it all the time as like, good old BC Bud, like he's calling you Bud, or something like that, and I'm just like, ooh, yeah, no, missed that one. Alas. All right, let's see what happens here. You return with this to the pyramid in the ruined wormhole observatory, the headache building. This again? Dis asks, unsure. Are you sure you want to go in there? You approach the large pyramid in the center of the complex. Beside it is one of the smaller elevators, a little monolith with a round iris door. This is the place. Your head throbs with it. Even standing outside, you know there's something down there. Selene, is this building hurting you? Dis asks when he sees you rubbing your temple. Find a way in. Neutralize the radiation. Excellent. So I can neutralize it now that I've done that studying, which is great. Pass on by, no problem. Good thing you studied this plant earlier and know its wily ways. Tickle it just so, and the radioactive flowers close. It parts to let you through. You enter the elevator, thankfully still working, and descend beneath the ground. It opens to a kind of antechamber room with an exit at the other end leading to the heart of the pyramid. There are glyphs carved into crystal panels on the walls, symbols that represent the wormhole. You start across the room. The further you go, the more your head swims. You have to pause. You think you might faint. You shake your head, trying to clear it. Wait, maybe this is a bad idea. Keep going! The fog slowly clears from your eyes. Your head still hurts, but you can think again. Dis looks concerned, even going so far as to reach out to steady you. Are you okay? I'm trying to explain it to Dis. It's hard to put into words. You just say, my head hurts. Obviously, he says, but no, it's more than that. You're seeing things. It's kind of like the array and kind of like a dream, but you feel that something super important is up ahead and you need to see it. Maybe we'd better leave, Dis says nervously. You don't look so good. Keep going. Past the antechamber is a long hallway sloping down. Things around you are starting to look kind of weird, like two slightly different realities overlapping. Dis's face is starting to phase in and out of existence. You're hit with a strong wave of dizziness and nausea. Things seem to move in slow motion, but also far too fast. You lean over and... toughness 50 or greater, I do have. What would this have been? Reasoning 50 or greater. Which I don't, but I can tough it out. You keep going. At the bottom of the hallway are more crystal panels on the walls, many facets broken. Or are they whole? The walls have crumbled and roots creep over everything, but also they don't. Every time you blink, the room seems to flip and swim between the two realities. All the same, you feel absolutely compelled to continue. What is with this place? Dis is both there and not there. The part of him which exists looks concerned. We need to leave now, he says. This place is hurting you. There's a round iris door at the end of the hall. Are you sure you want to go any further? One more room. You pass through the doorway into a large square chamber with a sloping ceiling. Your sense of this place, of the vibrations, is telling you this must be directly under the big pyramid on the surface. The floor and even the air here thrums with vibrating energy. Ugh, even I can feel it now too, Dis mutters behind you, rubbing his head. The room is empty except for a raised platform in the middle, which looks enticingly like a bed, which is convenient because you are definitely going to faint this time. You collapse onto the platform and are overcome by a spectacular migraine headache. It feels like your head is going to explode. So again, reasoning or toughness. So, toughness challenge. Endure the pain. Goal of 90. Plus 3 bonus to straight, so that'll be good to know if I can remember that. I'll have to take the kudos penalty here. I want to be able to play my -5 stress card, but we'll have to see if I can get enough points to do so. Oh, I forgot to re-equip my... Damn, my medallion. That would have helped a lot. +2 for each gem on other cards. Okay, so this might be the time to play that. Boom, and then can I optimize this at all? Not really. 21. This might be tough. Alright. Set neighbors to this value, so I guess I can do that. Oof. Set neighbors to this value. If I do this... had 42, that's 41. And then the straights are giving me a bonus. 4, 5, 6, 6, 8. Okay, so if I use this, I can keep this flush, but make that a 7, and get a huge bonus to the straights, which still isn't enough. Oh, goodness. What else I got? Draw a card. +2 to a card. +1 to a card and change its suit to yellow. But if I do any of those things, I lose my big straight. So that's 47. If I make this a yellow, I'll get 2 yellows and a pair. That might make up for that. 48. Oh, and it stayed a 4 because reds were getting a +1 bonus. Interesting. So yeah, so that just increased it by 1. Well, I think I might just have to. I think I can just push through. It's only 5 stress since I'm only 1 away. So let's do that. Victorious. Yeah, and I couldn't have gotten any higher without more M's anyway. Whoa! Bravery, empathy, reasoning, engineering, perception, bravery, empathy. You slip into some kind of waking dream, layers upon layers of visions. Dis is your lover, or Mars, or Tammy. You're a boy and a girl, or both and neither, young and old, a farmer, a hunter, a politician. You're dead and you're alive and you've never been born. Time unravels before you, an infinite tapestry crumbling wherever you look. It's all very weird. You see the web of possibilities and understand that what time truly is. It's all happening at once and none of it will ever happen. It's only sheer chance that any one possibility comes into existence, not any intrinsic truth of the universe or fate. Of fate. It's just a glimpse, probably over in a second, but a glimpse of an eternity you can hardly fathom. Then you see the wormhole, enormous in a starry sky. You look down and see yourself on a plateau gazing up at it. You recognize the place, a Gnarlwood bluff not far from the colony, alive with the phosphorescence of glow season. This you seems expectant, as if waiting for something momentous to arrive, something that will change everything. The vision is crystal clear, and you feel in control in a way you haven't since you started having these visions. You know you must go there. You wake up feeling refreshed. Ow, my head. Your headache is gone. You're still a little dizzy, but the room has stopped spinning and has returned to one singular reality again. The vibrations have stilled. Dis's face fills your vision. Solaine, he exclaims. Solaine, are you okay? Tell us what you saw. He listens in awe, and then in dejection as you describe your visions. Why didn't I see it, he sighs. I was here too. I want to know everything. Tell him about your dreams. Include the juicy bits. You tell Dis about how not only did you see all those visions, but you believe they're real. You've lived them, or some of them anyway. They're as real as the life you're living now. He listens intently, then nods. I believe you, he says simply. You look at him in shock, but he just reaches out and puts his hand over yours. I know what it's like when people don't. I'm not going to do that to you. You don't know what any of this means yet, but you're one step closer to figuring it out. You feel like you just had some kind of mega prophecy, but it was too much all at once, and too hard to understand. Could the Convergent Domain handle this kind of information? Could they remember past lives like you? Is this what this room, this observatory, was meant for? The only thing you remember clearly from the visions is the image of yourself during glow season, standing at the top of that Gnarlwood bluff just outside the colony, waiting for something. Yeah. Unlocked Explore Glow in Expeditions. So this unlocks the opportunity to do one of the special endings, a special ending that I have done before, and will not be probably doing in this playthrough, though maybe, I think you have to be 17 or 18 before you can do it anyway. So maybe we'll do it for fun at one point. Do I keep exploring, or do I want to just go home and save the stress? Of course, if I relax in the gardens, I have another chance to upgrade my pets.
I'm not sure I understand.
Thanks, Watch. Was not talking to you. Let's keep exploring. Let's get some more. Whatever stats I can get out here, I guess. Ah, yes, this is the flowers that I now know how to neutralize. Good thing you studied this plant earlier and you know its wily ways. You tickle it just so and the radioactive flowers close. You push your way through to the other side unharmed. Ooh, and do I do the encounter with Sim? A precarious natural land bridge drops down sharply on both sides here. You kick a rock over the side, but don't hear it hit the bottom. You cross. Cross it very carefully. You shuffle across it slowly, examining the cracks and sticking to the solid places. You accidentally send a few more pebbles skittering over the edge, and think, better them than me. Already did that one. You haven't been down into the deepest crevices of the ridges, where the crystals grow thick and the air is stagnant and dead. It's already sweltering on the ridges, but in the chasms you can see the heat warping the air almost like it's a permanent fog. Utopia says the air is so thick and still that you can't even use your glider down there. At least one thing survives in the haze, though. While you take a break for lunch one day, you can see flickers of silver dart in and out of the fog, like ripples of light on a lake. As you unpack your tiffin box, the silver flashes come up out of the fog and begin to surround you. They're animals, eyeless, almost translucent creatures about the length of your arm, trailing meters-long tentacles behind them. Their mournful hooting is magical and strange. You look them up in your hollow palm. Oh, air squid babies. Wait, air squid are predators. Bum bum bum. All cards become red. One becomes red. Value is wild, so let's do something like that. We could do something like this, and then something like that. And then this will be easy. The question will be, can I get the max score? Because I'm very bad at getting the max score. That, get a nice run, keep those together for the flush. Those 3 first gems, just something like that. No, oh, one more. Always off by one. You duck behind some roots and keep perfectly still as the creepy creatures flow around and past you. They don't seem to be hunting for food, they must be on their way somewhere. Air squid adults are solitary hunters, but these juveniles form large groups and move together fluidly like schools of fish. Once they're a safe distance away, you take some notes on their social behavior. The oddest thing is how many there were. Hundreds of the things. But mature air squid are very rare creatures, more often heard than seen. Must be a tough life if so few of them reach adulthood. Interesting. You and Dis are poking at one of the ruined buildings here, a jet black stone cube now reduced to rubble and overgrown with large snaking roots and clusters of bright crystals. Hello, curious little humans, Sim says cheerfully, popping up from behind it. How is the archaeology going? Are you having fun digging up the secrets of the planet? You and Dis exchange a cautious look at Sim's tone, but Sim just laughs. I've convinced the others to allow me to nudge you towards the truth, he says, sitting primly on an outcropping of obsidian that matches his long, oil-slick hair. It's not a trick. Dis fidgets beside you, his face unreadable. Well, Sim says, do you have any questions for me? Why aren't there more ruins? Well, it's been a while, Sim says. 20,000 years is a long time to clean up a mess. We've worked quite hard. He looks around at the dust and the ruins. There are only a few places on the surface of the planet where you can still see the Convergent Domain's work, but they used to cover almost everything. Much of their technology was organic, fungal specifically, so you won't be unearthing any bed frames or dinnerware. It's all long since rotted away or gone wild and grown into something new. He smiles. Unearth, he repeats. Look, I'm beginning to speak like you. He strokes the glossy obsidian ruin. Even this was alive once. It grows like coral, a silicon-based fungal life form genetically engineered to take whatever form was needed. It's extinct now. Only the bones are left. They make these crystals. Yes, Sim says. He looks pleased. They're a self-replicating silicon-based species that behaves much like a fungus. They're connected below the ground in a massive network. They were the Convergent Domain's solar collectors, and for a time, they were the only living thing on much of the surface of the planet. It's hard to imagine, right? No mush trees, no poof shrooms, not even these mountains. Just endless fields of sharp crystals and smooth obsidian ground, drawing in all that energy and storing it under the surface. Sim tilts his head coyly. Whatever could they have used it all for? Then there were the earthquakes, Sim adds. It certainly shook things up. Did you kill the Convergent? Did they live underground? Yes, largely, Sim says, though, as you can see, there were some facilities above ground, such as this one. Nearly all of them were what you'd consider agoraphobic, he adds, but very little sight to speak of in their physical forms, but they loved looking at the planet through the eyes of its creatures. Sometimes they visited the surface by taking forms better suited to it, though the process was often painful. It shoots you a meaningful look you can't interpret. What did they look like? Like worms, Sim answers simply. What do humans look like? Did you kill the convergence domain? Well, Sim smiles his knowing smile, his eyes alight with a secret. I think that's enough questions for today. He stands up and dusts himself off. Who can say what happened to them exactly? The earthquakes that formed these ridges shook the planet around that time, but perhaps it was their own greed and hubris that turned on them. Sim makes to leave, but just Dis jumps in his way. Wait, he cries, I have a question. Sim tilts his head, waiting. What if someone wanted to become a gardener, Dis stammers? Is that possible? Sim stares at Dis for a long time. I'll have to think about that one, Sim answers slowly. Then he leaves, soundless, against the sand. There's a strange heat haze shimmer across the path ahead. Oddly, it doesn't clear up as you get closer. The mirage effect is very strong. The refracted air makes it look like there's a pool of water on the ground and plants waving around it. But something is just off about the illusion. You can't put your finger on why. Now, I've had this encounter before, I believe, because I believe I saw myself through the portal. So let's see what happens here. Oh, and I keep forgetting to need to equip my my necklace again. I don't need that persuasion anymore. That'll be pretty good. Another 6. Once I play one more card. That'll sort of cancel out those benefits. So I think just the 3 is probably the biggest. Hey! Yes! The faster you move, the faster the mirage disperses. You approach cautiously. As you do, you realize what is wrong about the mirage. It's impossible. The plants on the other side of the haze are different. Not just wibbly-wobbly from the layers of air, but smaller, younger. And it's morning there, not evening. This feels familiar. Didn't you see him? It's you. You're yelling, hey you, and waving your arms, jumping up and down. Ah, so I'm seeing what I did last time I had this encounter. This is nuts. That was weird. The mirage breaks up and fades away before you can do anything but stare. That was really you from before. Weird. Very cool. The flies here are awful. They come out in the heat of the day and buzz around you incessantly. They don't bite, but they seem to want something from you. Maybe the water or salt from your sweat. You hope they aren't laying eggs. Dis calls the most annoying ones rod flies because they're like long, flexible sticks with a bunch of wings. They swarm in clouds around your face no matter how hard you try to shoo them away. He says they remind him of Mars. But there are other ones too, like the one that's just a big eyeball with a couple of pairs of little wings. They make a loud buzzing sound and are always just out of reach when you try to swat them away. Today, your personal nemesis is one of these eye flies. There was a whole bunch of them earlier, but only one has persisted. It's been following you, staring at you all morning. You and Dis have been batting at it for an hour, but it's a fast dodger. Dis has finally given up and just plods forward. He even lands on his head, but he doesn't care. Swat that, eye fly! It's a fun encounter to do the raining bounce weasels thing, but it's a card that I don't particularly like that much. I guess it'll be useful later with... Actually, yeah, I'll probably just start with that. You do some of these low cards here. Did you do the bounce weasel art, Lindsay? I know you did several of the pet cards. The eye fly is like the size of a human eyeball and made of concentric rings of rainbow hues, black, yellow, green, blue, and purple. I did all of the creature art assets are ones I did. Nice. And some of the cards use an asset, not an illustration from the... Right, of course, of course. All the creature art assets are ones I did, and some of the cards use an asset, not an illustration from the 100 artists. Yeah, so this is really cool because all of the cards have art from different people that the Northway Games sort of crowdsourced, which is really cool to see. That, I mean, there's so many cards that would need to be illustrated. I can imagine why they do it, but it's such a cool sort of almost like an Exquisite Corpse type situation. And Lindsay in the chat did all of the writing and also some of the art, which is very cool. Is the Bounce Weasel... I'd have to like look up the Finji logo. Is it normally just a regular weasel, and then the Bounce Weasel has like the additional Vertumnin stuff on it, like little tentacles and stuff? Is that how that works? Because it's the same as the logo when you boot up the game. It's a Vertumnin Finji Stoat. Cool. That's very, very cool little Easter eggy thing. I like it a lot. Then you strike. Haha, got it. Squashed. 10 minutes later, there is a new fly following you. Oh dear. The sun goes behind a cloud and you feel a light splattering of rain. It sizzles into the dry, hot ground around you, providing a little relief from the heat of the day. Then you realize you don't see a single cloud in the sky ahead of you, and it almost never rains in the western resting ridges. The plants here rely on nighttime dew for moisture. Last time I looked up and I discovered that I was being peed on by a cow, so I'm just going to run. You bolt for cover with your hands thrown over your head. You don't even care what's up there. You just know that was no rain. Getting thirsty. You feel for your backup canteen, but it's missing. Somehow you lost it. Somehow you lost it since you left this morning, and you're all out of drinking water. I've done this one before, but if I search, I can find the canteen and get some stress back. But that won't be, because that's not how that works. I hate this card too. So save those. Just do something like that. All right. That. Seven. That'll become... Oh no, that's already getting the +1 bonus. That'll ruin my 8. So I won't be able to get that run the way I want. So I'll just do that. Oh, my mouse just stopped working for some reason. Right, but I wanted to, if I do that, I can make something else red, because the red cards get a +1 bonus, so that would be wasted. I'm not going to get the highest score anyway, because I don't want to use this one, so let's just do whatever we can, huh? There's no natural water around, but in your search you turn up your lost canteen. That was lucky. That might have been the last event. Okay, so I think I am going to go do this this event with Sim. Let's see. End of Pollen is Tammy's birthday, so I will miss... so some spoilers if I know what this upcoming Sim event is. It's going to prevent me from doing things for a couple months, probably. And then You're late dust. You're mid dust. I might be okay by mid dust, so I can still get Nomi's birthday. Anemone is early dust, but I'll think I'll be okay with her friendship, so. Yes, I'm gaming the system a little bit, but you know what? I have memories of other lives, so the game narratively gives me an excuse to metagame, as it were, which is fun. Alright, Sim, let's do this. You're walking up a trail when you're caught by surprise. It's Sim, and he's running? You're knocked to the side as he pushes past you, running in the opposite direction with barely a glance. You shout and chase after him, but after a few seconds it becomes clear you don't have a hope of finding Sim when he doesn't want to be found. You turn and continue along the path, and around the next bend you spot a familiar face. Oh, okay, this isn't the encounter that I thought it was. Okay, never mind. Whoo! Utopia. She's collecting rock samples with a pickaxe, like an old-timey prospector. Who the hell was that? She demands. Just an alien named Sim. I didn't see anyone. Utopia squints at you. The man who just ran past. The tall guy dressed in black? How did you not see him? She hikes her pickaxe off of her shoulder. Whatever, just watch where you're running, okay? The gravel's loose around here. Maybe check in with Doc Instance. Get your eyes looked at. You agree, happy to be out of the conversation without any trouble, and continue along the path before Utopia asks any more questions. You walk for a couple minutes before you see Sim again. He seems to be in good humor despite the close call. Oh, he says, leaning against a tree. It is tiresome to be so secretive. He wipes his eyes, brimming with mirth. It is such a pleasure to be around you and Dis, and to not have to hide myself. He sobers quickly. I do appreciate your discretion, he says. It's not the right time for the gardeners to be formally introduced. To do so too early would cause a great degree of chaos. Yes, even the female surveyor, he continues. I do like her, but I have learned from my limited experience with your kind that adults of your species do not react well to surprises. It's good you're here, though, Sim continues, as I need something from you. Data. What? Sim holds up his hands. Please do not be alarmed, he says, placatingly. I do not mean sensitive information such as personnel and defenses. I mean only the contents of your digital cultural archive. Like holovids? Sim smiles. Yes, exactly. Your holographic recordings of movies, music, books. Cultural artifacts only, I promise. Why? Well, Sim says, isn't it obvious? I wish to know more about your kind. I wish to learn how to... He struggles for the right phrasing. I wish to learn how to act in such a way that is not so discomfiting to humans. Alright. Sim's gentle smile grows warmer. Truly, he asks, clasping his hands. Oh, I thought it would take a great deal more convincing. You are surprising. It's such a pleasure. You tell Sim that you can likely find a mem drive in engineering and fill it with the data he wants. You request payment of another kind. I will definitely be flirting with Sim in my sort of final best playthrough, but that is not this. I have a few questions of my own. That's fair, Sim says. It must be frustrating to feel as though the truth is being withheld from you. Ignorance is not a yoke your kind bears easily. Please trust me when I say that my inability to answer your questions is born of circumstances beyond my control and not a lack of desire on my part, he continues. I have full faith that you will know everything soon enough. Alrighty. Yeah, so that was not the encounter I was afraid it might be, so that's all good. Which means we can go home. Run, run, run. It's already almost 4:45. Is this exploring? It does take longer. We might only get through half a year of this game. This stream. Go home. Despite being warned, you haven't been able to stop telling everyone about your dreams. It's like a compulsion. Why? Interesting. I want people to believe me. You keep hoping that anyone will believe you. You're not faking it, and you're not sick. You're having a legitimate crisis of the space-time continuum. People have been pretty understanding. Things have been stressful for you, for everyone really, but you're getting tired of being told that you should take it easy. You don't need rest, you need people to listen. Eventually, even your friends start to look uncomfortable when you bring up your dreams. This suggests that you should talk to Dr. Instance again, just in case you're really sick. Instance insists that, this time, you take the antipsychotics. She's really concerned that your symptoms haven't improved. You protest. You're not sick, but unfortunately, you're still a minor. Afraid for your safety, your parents agree with Instance. Interesting, so there is another Delusions scene. I wasn't sure if there was going to be any more. The medication only exacerbates your visions. Your dreams take on a haunted, urgent quality, and you're visited nightly by horrible creatures, horrible futures that you've never seen before, in dreams or otherwise. Time seems to move too fast, the days blurring by into featureless space between wakings. When you are lucid, it feels like you've been encased in sticky sap. You feel no pleasure or motivation, only a formless dread of the next time you're overtaken by the horrors that live in your own mind. I think this is my first time through this event, Lindsay. So, buckle in. You lose touch with reality. You're trapped inside a mirror box of memories, of hallucinations, of these delusions. At least you hope that at least these most recent ones must be delusions. If you've lived these past lives, you don't ever want to remember. And if they're visions of lives to come, well, you don't want to think about it. Dr. Instance approaches you. People usually try to avoid you now, so this is unusual enough that you're able to surface long enough to focus on her words. Think I can do something that will help once and for all, she's saying. It sounds important. She beckons for you to follow. Your parents are waiting for you in the medbay. Didn't want to resort to this, Instance says, leading you to a medbed. Possibility of permanent brain damage, loss of fundamental memories, a rewriting of who he is as a person. Holy shit. You don't remember anything after that. You sleep, dreamless. Time passes. You have vague memories of tests, Instance telling you to watch her finger as she moves it from side to side, bright lights shining in your eyes, pointing to pictures of animals, your brain struggling to summon their names. Is it over? That's the 8th time you've asked that question, Instance replies. Let's see if it sticks. It does. You stay awake and slowly begin to remember who you are. Vertumna, your parents, Dis, everything comes back to you. Well, almost everything. You can't remember a single dream you've ever had, not even just the prophetic ones. Any dream. Instance tells you that you suffer delusions of remembering past lives. You can't even imagine what that felt like. You feel brand new. Holy shit! Yeah, you weren't kidding, Lindsay. Huh. That might change how this plays out. The implications. Yeah, I mean... Wow. It'll be interesting to see how that, how much that might affect some of the future, the events to come. How that might affect the events to come. It also might change. I had a plan for how I wanted this run to go. It'll be interesting to see if I can sort of narratively have it make sense. There might be a way that I can do that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that will change then. Yeah, some of the future story events and things, as far as not being able to remember past lives. Holy shit. Well, this was my Delusions run, so I guess that was the the natural result of that plan, huh? Wow. Frankly, given all of that, at least you saved your mom and dad first. Oh god, of course. Oh my god, right, of course. So it's not going to let me do any of the options where you can use memories of a past life to... Oh man. Won't let you use any of the memories of the past life for future conversations. So yeah, I mean, some of the biggest ones I've already done, which is nice. That's really interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to see how that plays out. And I think on that note, that's probably a good place to wrap up. Actually, Lindsay, I have to ask you. I assume that doesn't. Time to go hug Rex. Yes, good point. Thank you. I assume that doesn't affect future playthroughs, right? I won't have to like go through and redo an entire playthrough to re-unlock memories. It's just this playthrough, right, Lindsay? You'll get them back pretty sure. Okay, good. Otherwise I might have to speed run a first playthrough again, but no, that'll be good. That's so interesting. Okay. Yeah, on that note, I'm gonna have to ponder what that means for the future. Thanks for joining, Hapabara. Thanks for chatting. Yeah, I'm gonna get a hug from Rex before I close off here, I think. Hugs incoming. Aw, yeah, Rex exclaims, wrapping you in a strong bear hug. He even lifts you off the ground a little. It's a good hug, the kind that makes you instantly just a little more relaxed, and I think I needed that, because, yeah, holy shit. Well, thank you, everyone, for coming to check out this stream. That, yeah, big implications of what just happened there. I was not expecting that, which is cool. I love that even on a third and fourth playthrough, this game can still surprise me a little bit. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for coming, especially Lindsay, and hanging out in the chat. Lindsay was the writer on Exocolonist, so it's lovely to have them here to talk to as I play through. And yeah, thanks for joining. If you missed my sort of intro at the beginning, my name is Lucas. I'm the studio director at Silver String Media. We are a indie game studio. Lots of information down in the Twitch page description, about section, etc. Our game Glitch Hikers: The Spaces Between, which we launched this year, is on sale right now for 30% off for the Steam Winter Sale. That's the biggest discount that we've ever done with Glitch Hikers so far, so now is a perfect time to pick it up, or given the holiday season, give the gift of Glitch Hikers to a friend if you've already picked it up for yourself. Please give us a follow if you're here. Thank you for the views and whatnot. We just started streaming a couple months ago. We're hoping to do it as a little, community thing. So working up towards that affiliate level, so we can do some cool emotes and all of that kind of stuff. I've been playing through Exocolonist every Friday, which will continue at least until we complete this run, and then we'll see what else we do. But the team at Silver String has been talking about other kinds of streams that we can do, bring other team members in to do stuff, do some music streams, all sorts of fun and interesting things. So give us a follow if any of that sounds interesting. Really appreciate you watching. And I'm gonna close it out there, so have a lovely evening, everyone. Have a lovely sort of holiday season. And yeah, we'll maybe see you next week. Thanks so much for coming, folks. Bye.